All right. We're not live.
We're not live yet.
Now we're live. Oh, look at that. That's helpful. Oh, my gosh. Hi, everybody. Welcome to I'm Trying live at PlayNYC. It's good to see all you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for stopping by.
I'm trying. We're live.
We are.
Whoa, look at your happy faces.
It's
I know
so nice.
the stream can't see it, but just trust. Super happy.
Usually when we do this show, we're sitting in my bedroom facing a closet, so this is a really nice improvement. Let's introduce ourselves.
Yeah, who are we? Hi, I'm Jhanelle Dennis, everybody.
Woo, Jhanelle Dennis!
Yeah.
Jhanelle Dennis, everybody. And I'm Jacob Derwin. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Trying is a comedy podcast about failure, desperation, fear, humiliation, and all the things that make us human. And we're very excited about today's show. It's such an honor to be at such a cool event. This place is incredible. Just all the lights and the games, and I definitely, it's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, so essentially, who are we? We're a comedy podcast about failure and desperation.
Yes.
Hence the name.
Yes.
I'm Trying.
You got
and every week we talk about the biggest failures, mistakes, desperate moments.
Yes, and Jhanelle here is a stand-up comedian.
Stand-up comedian from
And,
Canada in New York City right
yes.
now. And Jacob, who are you?
I'm a songwriter and a voice actor. At least I claim to be, and I'm from this area. And we have different kind of gaming experiences throughout our lives. I think they vary from person to person. I personally, every mistake I've ever made in a video game comes down to Pokemon. I don't remember if anyone remembers that red Gyarados in Pokemon Crystal and the second generation, that red Gyarados. So my buddy and I, back in the day, we were trying to fix the system, right? We want to trade those Master Balls back and forth. We want rare candy boost. We want to cheat this game as much as possible. And so you have these link cables, right? Because you can't do it wireless like you can now. You have these link cables between the Game Boys. We tried trading that red Gyarados back and forth, and the link cable disconnects, and it fails. And that Gyarados was gone, my friends. We lost the red Gyarados from my version of Pokemon Crystal. I've never forgiven Corey for this. It's a big issue. And your shirt apparently links up with one of your stories from childhood gaming.
Yeah, so I have a really embarrassing confession to tell you guys. I'm a retired gamer, I consider myself. I know you're laughing like, what? I used to play games all the time with my cousins, and they thought I was so good, but I was a huge cheater. Like,
Entirely.
that's how I got by. I'm sorry. You know, Game Shark was my jam. Like, Pokemon Blue, man, I was cruising on Game Shark. Cheating, but like feeling like when you're in denial and you're cheating, you're like, no, I'm actually just really good at this.
I'm actually an expert because
I'm actually a super expert. Yeah. And so, oh my God, so I remember one time I'd play some of my favorite games back in the day were 007 Nightfire. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah. 007. There you go.
You know, like GoldenEye's, Forgotten Stepchild. Yeah, 007 Nightfire, Harlem Globetrotters World Tour.
Wow.
Really good game.
Way back.
Also, like Street Fighter, hence the shirt.
Obviously.
Mortal Kombat. And people thought I was good, but honestly, low-key, I was just a button masher that got lucky a lot.
Yeah.
So one time, I was with my cousin, and we were playing with somebody else, and the way the buttons were mashed created this beautiful combo, and everyone's like, "Whoa!"
And how old are you? You're literally
like 8.
You're literally 8 years old.
And I have never felt more alive in my life.
She's been chasing that feeling ever since, folks.
Chasing that dragon, man.
Still can't find it. We want to introduce our guest for today's episode. Every week on I'm Trying, we have a different guest. Our guest this week is a veteran of the gaming and tech industries. She's one of the reasons y'all are here today at this event. Everyone give it up for Krysti Pryde, everybody.
Krysti Pryde.
Krysti Pryde, everyone. Krysti Pryde putting on her headset.
Yeah.
Becoming the pro gamer she is. Oh yes, the turn down. It's great. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's very epic.
Can you guys hear me? Okay, great.
I can't super hear you in the
I'm
headphones, but
Okay, is this better? Ooh.
Ooh, that's a lot better.
We're in the Matrix now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow. There's like an
Yeah.
ambient voice coming through the headset from our production guy. It's
I'm listening
eerie.
to you in person.
Okay,
Yeah.
wow, cool.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Krysti. How you doing?
Good to see you.
I'm glad that you guys showed up. Thank you so much. Again, this is going to be super fun. I know we have some funny stories to tell.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I mean, something that some people here might not know is Krysti and I have a weird connection. We're both, as it says on your website, we're both survivors of reality television. Me personally, I was voted out second on a show called Survivor on CBS. It went
Never
very
heard of
poorly.
it.
Never
Survivor,
heard of
what's
it.
that?
Never heard of it. It went very badly, and we don't need to talk about it much further. Krysti's also been through her own reality TV trauma. Can you talk about that a little bit?
My trauma is from a show that you guys probably actually have never heard of called The Tester.
Anyone know the
Do you
tester?
guys
Anyone
know what
the
that
tester
is?
here? Anyone?
I think
Few nods.
this
Few
one
nods.
guy knows
Yeah.
the show.
Yeah.
So what The Tester was, it was a PlayStation reality TV show where a bunch of gamers live in a house and we compete in not games, which was a shock to me when I was on the show, because I was super comfortable competing in actual games, but we're actually competing in these really corny game-themed challenges. Like I think we did like an Uncharted like paintball course, so stuff like that. We did like a Twisted Metal like challenge where we had to dress up like clowns. It was
A Nathan Drake cake bake.
yeah, Nathan Drake cake bake. Yeah, so that was my life, which somehow feels, and I came in second place, but that still somehow feels more embarrassing than getting voted out second on Survivor.
I don't know about that, but so you talked about a couple. Is there a challenge that sticks out in your mind of like a certain experience that was just like, I really can't believe they made us do that?
Yeah, it would be the Twisted Metal challenge
Yeah.
for sure. So we had to dress up like clowns.
Yeah.
And they gave us like an array of clothes to like pick, and like I'm like a spaghetti person, so like my legs are long, my arms are long, it's like a mess, and so nothing really fit me correctly. So that was a challenge, and it was super embarrassing. And then as like we were dressed as clowns, and we had to build a clown car.
You had to build a clown car.
We had to build a clown car.
A small one, I
A
assume.
tiny clown car by hand, had to build it.
So a Fiat.
Basically. And we had to put our team in the car once it was built and then drive it like Flintstone style drive it. Like,
with the Fiat. Oh my gosh.
Drive it through a paintball course and try to hit targets.
Yeah.
Neither team got to the paintball portion of that challenge.
Really?
Yeah, so it was just a hot mess.
Oh no.
And we were in like clown makeup for like 12 hours in like the LA desert.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was disgusting.
There's no evidence of, right? There's no pictures that people could.
No, there's not.
No, there's not.
There's
I don't know why you would think
nothing on
that.
the internet.
It doesn't exist. What are you talking
Nothing.
about?
So don't even look.
Don't even bother.
Yeah.
So reality shows are funny like that, especially ones that are focused on the internet, that are like on the internet specifically, because that I know for me. It was very easy, especially in the age of social media and everyone being connected. It's very easy to send a message to someone you saw on a reality show and say things that you might not say to a person face to face.
Yeah, like, hey, you should die.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Just thought I'd let you know that.
Yeah, you know.
7 a.m.
And I assume as much. You had to deal with the kind of.
Yeah, so I had to
throwback.
deal with like the fallout of normal like post-reality TV.
Yeah.
And then also it being a gaming show. Have you guys heard of 4chan?
4chan, yeah.
So say no more. So 4chan were super supportive.
Whoa.
No.
Oh, no.
You're being so.
No.
Okay.
No, they were not.
She had me for a second.
Yeah. No. So yeah, that was an absolute nightmare. But honestly, I didn't get it as bad as some of the other casts of the show.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I guess I'm thankful for that. But yeah, the internet does not make your life easy after reality TV.
Oh
And
gosh.
like I still get it's been what feels like 100 years since I did this show. In reality, maybe it was about 8 years ago. But people still notice me in like Target seems to be the place. So it's
Walmarts.
Like, Targets, Walmarts. People notice me and like want to like scream to me from afar.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I still get like really weird DMs. People still draw super suspect fan art of me.
Super suspect
Fan
Yeah.
art.
I can't go into detail about that fan art
Yeah,
because
no.
it would violate Twitch's
Yeah,
terms of
that's
service.
wow.
Damn, I'm upset because Super Suspect Fan Art was my band name.
Yeah, that was my ska name. That was my ska band. It was my Squirrel Nut Zipper cover band. I don't know.
You know what? I just love a ska reference.
Yeah, man.
That's fine.
Let me just really get the deep with the old Andrew Bird band. Let me just dig into that tiny little, that joke for two people. Oh my God. Okay, well, first of all, I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad we dealt with that in the past, and I'm glad we could share this moment together as fellow survivors in a way.
Of reality TV. I feel like there is a coalition of reality TV survivors.
There's a lot of us now. There's so many shows. There's a lot of us.
It just sucks that we don't get the Bachelor treatment where we just become like immediate influencers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I've seen so many of these people I've met from my cast, from other casts, who just happen to be, painfully attractive people who suddenly are getting these diet pill deals, and they get like $1,000 to post something on Instagram, and I'm sitting over here like, where's my diet pill brand?
Where's my diarrhea tea?
I'm cute. Come on, guys. This is rude. Yeah. And it was probably a little bit different back in the day. Well, even 8 years ago, that's way different internet. In internet years, that's, as you said, like 100 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, because the internet evolves so quickly. So back then, it was like way different. I think if I did the show now, it would be way worse.
Way worse.
I think the internet would be way worse.
Just because it's more accessible, you think?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like the internet just gets worse and worse.
Yeah. I think it's a fair assessment.
It's a love-hate relationship.
I don't know,
right?
but I am a female in the game industry, so it's a bit of a tough spot for me.
Yeah, that's a very specific kind of thing. Jhanelle, how does it feel? You're a female who games. How do you get the female in the game industry treatment?
I'm retired every
got
time.
it. Sorry.
I told you guys.
She's retired. She has a house in Boca Raton.
Every time. But the thing is,
like,
I brag too much about like, oh, I'm amazing at Smash Bros. Oh, Luigi's my guy.
I legitimately,
Captain Falcon's my guy.
Within the first week of meeting Jhanelle, I asked if she wanted to play Smash Bros with me, and she said no.
I'm like, I prefer not to. They're like, why not? I'm like, I prefer not to.
And then we almost convinced her. We're like, can you play, please play? And like my roommate literally said, no means no, Jacob.
No
she
means
said
no. Consent is important.
For Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
The best
fine,
thing to
all right.
The best thing to do is just tell people like, I'm so good. It would not be fair to you.
I don't want to embarrass you.
Each other. Like it just don't even waste my time.
Yeah, I'm secretly like Justin Wong.
Yeah.
Smash Bros.
She unzips her skin. It's Justin Wong.
Yeah. I just want everyone to be mentally okay after I play them.
Oh, true. It's such an emotional strike to the heart. Makes you question everything you've done up to this point.
Yeah, and I don't take, honestly, and this is part of the reason we started this podcast, I don't take failure well at all. Mm-hmm. So, to see yourself be thrown off, and like that's my soul. Like as the damage is increasing, like 125% damage, I'm like, that's my heart and my dreams and goals right there. I can't take that. I'm too fragile.
You're not fragile.
I'm not cut out.
It's a good thing you retired a while ago, though, because I feel like games are just getting harder and harder.
Yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2.
What?
I want to pet some horses.
Oh, yeah.
Don't talk too much about the horses. Twitch guidelines.
Oh, yeah.
First episode of this podcast that came up.
Really?
Oh yeah. We had Kyle and Drew from Fun Factor Games.
Yeah, Kyle and Drew Fun Factor Games.
I feel like they might be here. This is their kind of jam.
Yeah. They talked about getting into a fight. Playing Smash Brothers, a literal fight outside.
Like a physical fight.
Yeah.
Like it came to fists.
Yeah. But
people caught hands.
That's incredible.
They were caught outside, and you guys can relate to that, right? Like I remember when I'd be losing, and you're like, "Oh, oops, we turned off the console by accident."
That's strange.
Power outage.
Krysti, do you have one of those? Did you have a game growing up that was just like your most competitive thing?
Yeah, I think it would. So I think that game would be Dead or Alive on Dreamcast for sure, or probably. Soul Calibur. On GameCube.
Oh, Soul Calibur 2?
Yes.
With Link?
Big time.
Dude.
Absolutely.
No lie, that's the game that made me want to be a voice actor. I kid you not. There was a character Cervantes.
Yes.
And he just had this crazy this thing going on. He would just I don't know if it was a curse word, the HE double hockey sticks. He would he was the only character in the game who said something like that.
Yeah.
And to young Jacob's brain, that was the most come with me. So I'm like, oh my god, I want to do that.
I want to have that voice.
It was the craziest. That was a huge game for me.
Yeah. Honestly, one, very weird that it was Cervantes from Soul Calibur that inspired you to be a voice actor.
Yeah.
And also, on the other hand, That's also very cool.
Yeah.
That is a very cool, weird niche story to tell.
Very weird, I know.
Cervantes. Just pour one out for Cervantes. You owe him everything.
Pour one out for the ghost pirate himself. Who was your main character? Did you go for were you like a Valdo stan?
No. Definitely not a Valdo stan. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I would, and I can't pronounce her name because it's Chinese, but she was like the fencer character, or like
She was the what?
She was like the Tai Chi
Fencing.
sword.
Oh, the fencing. Is it Jean-Noir? Is that
I think so. I don't want
Yeah.
to butcher her name. I would
Start
feel
with an
terrible.
X?
Yes.
It was
Yeah.
Jean-Noir. I'm pretty sure it's Jean-Noir.
Okay.
Yeah.
I loved her, and I slayed with her.
Yeah.
Like, untouchable. So competitive, like what you were saying, that like
Yeah.
if anybody beat me when I was playing her, I was like in my feelings about it. I was not like, I'm in therapy now, so like I'm better. But
Same.
like,
Give it up for
but-
therapy, everybody.
Therapy.
Therapy's great.
Does the body
Highly
good.
recommend. Yeah, but like I would totally, I was like unequipped at that age to handle
Oh my gosh.
ever being beaten when playing her.
Who was your least favorite character to like play against?
Baldo.
Yeah, well, Baldo's weird,
A
dude.
nightmare.
Speaking
Yeah.
of like Cervantes being the guy that makes you want to be a voice actor, Baldo's the guy that makes you wonder who is that voice actor?
Yeah, who is that?
Just hissing.
Like, who designed that character? Are they okay?
Yeah, I had like the whole book that had like all the backstories of all the characters. His whole story is like his master left him in a hole to guard his treasures for 50 years, and this is just how he is now.
Oh, so he's like Gollum or something.
Maybe.
essentially. I don't know.
He's
Like
very
Gollum.
loyal, is what he is.
Wow. Yeah, not
weird
pouring
stuff.
one out for
Not
Baldo.
pouring one out for Baldo. Not, give it up for not Baldo, everybody. Not Baldo.
Literally any character but Baldo.
Was GameCube like your heart console?
Dreamcast for sure was
Dreamcast.
my Dreamcast. I'm like a huge Dreamcast
All right.
supporter. They still
Sega.
in Japan. They still make games for Dreamcast. Is that not amazing?
Holy.
Yeah.
I never had a Dreamcast.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No. I was like Nintendo all the way from birth on. Like
Yeah.
every Nintendo thing.
Yeah. I would say GameCube would be my second
All right.
console. I
Then
mean,
we're still good.
I have like nostalgic connections to obviously my NES, my Super NES, and my Sega because I was a child, during that era of game consoles, and so most of my nostalgia is tied to those consoles. But like my real like emotional trauma is centered around Dreamcast and GameCube because I was of the age where like I was becoming emotionally invested in video games and yeah.
What was that game on Dreamcast for you? What was the Dreamcast game that made you emotional?
Oh gosh, probably Shenmue or Skies of Arcadia.
Skies of Arcadia.
Remember that?
I've never played it.
know.
I've watched it. It is a
It's
stunning game.
amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Stunning. I mean, I'm gonna out myself. I'm 24, and so I was like N64 was my first console.
That's so I'm
Yeah.
34.
Yeah.
So it's so cool.
There's
to
a
me.
generation there.
I'm
Yeah.
in between you guys.
You are. Yeah.
So what was your first console?
Game Boy Color.
Adorable.
yeah.
Love it.
I never owned Super NES, but Nintendo 64 I got for Christmas. But my mom got it like 6 months earlier and hid it in the closet. And one day I
Wow.
found it 6 months before. Yeah, and I'm like, but I had to hide. I had
yeah.
to pretend I didn't know about
Yeah.
it by Christmas. And like, I just had a pep in my step. Like,
Walking
life,
down the
I knew
stairs
the
to
game had been
Christmas.
changed. Literally, I'm like, I have confidence now. I have. I'm going to be the owner of an N64.
You're just peacocking
Yeah.
around the.
Which-
Yeah, you can't tell me nothing.
Was like
I was
a
Lil
big
Nas X
deal.
back then. Take that horse to the Old Town Road.
All this to say, I recently got a Super NES, the one that plugs into the
Yeah.
TV, the classic.
Oh yeah.
Which is
I love
really
that
cool.
they're doing that.
Yeah, I've played a lot of these games it's like ports for like the computer and stuff, but I've never just like.
Of course,
but these
ROMs
are-
and emulators have existed
Yeah,
forever.
the emulators. Yeah.
But there's nothing cuter than a tiny version of something you love.
It's
Oh,
really
yeah.
special.
Yeah.
I did start playing Earthbound,
Amazing.
which is amazing, and it's the first game I've ever played that actively hates you.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't want you to win. Like it
No.
wants you to suffer. It doesn't tell you anything. It tricks you.
Yep.
It makes you spend your in-game money for no reason, and you're just like, why won't you help me, game?
That's your fault for being so trusting.
Look, man. I'm just playing a bunch of kids with magic powers here. I'm not trying to. Oh man, it's a beautiful game though. It's
It is a beautiful game.
Even though it's kicking the tush.
It's a classic game. I feel like that game is important to a lot of gamers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it
Right.
also it's inspired a lot of the model, your Undertale stuff like that. Like it's very
Yeah.
clearly inspired these later games.
Yeah.
Very directly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I think, a lot of the games here at PlayNYC, I think, are inspired kind of by Earthbound or from that era of games,
Cool.
which is so nice to see that kind of resurgence, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you walk around this show floor, I think if you look at certain games, you can kind of gather the inspiration from games like 20 years ago, which is so cool.
Interesting. Okay. Maybe we have to wrap up soon.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
It does. Well, let's do our little outro. So first of all, we want to thank Krysti Pryde, everybody. Thank you for coming, taking time out of your busy schedule to hang out with us. Thank you for all of you for hanging out with us and stopping by. Give yourselves a pat on the back and a round of applause. Thank you very much. If you enjoyed the show, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ImTryingShow.
ImTryingShow.
Yes.
Or you can follow us individually. You can follow Krysti. What's your socials? Where can they find you?
Pryde. It's just my name.
Just your name.
Just my name.
Classic. Classic. Or you can follow me as well. It's my name, Jhanelle Dennis.
And I'm Jacob Derwin.
Jacob Derwin.
If you see us out on the floor and you want to share like some stories with us of failure, let us know. We're happy to chat with you. We're all about normalizing that here. If you want to pin, let us know.
Yeah.
And you can check out, we got a lot of them, and you can check out previous episodes on www.imtryngshow.com. We've had guests, voice actors, musicians, actors. We had a recent guest, Kristen Sullivan. She's a voice actor from A Silent Voice. Some of you may have seen on Netflix. We've had Rick Younger from Mean Girls on Broadway. Got a lot of really good comedians. A lot of comedians. Been a lot of fun. And we always like to close our show with an appropriate song lyric. And I don't think Jhanelle knows this one, but I'm going to give it to her so she can read it. So in the words of Jonathan Colton, this was a triumph. I'm making a note here. Huge success. Thank you, everybody.
You guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
That was so wholesome. I love it.